There has been a very small leak for New World, but I'm going to try and make it seem like it's bigger than it is because I need those YouTube clicks. Okay, some of that is true, but there has been a leak and I actually think it might be bigger than it shows. Let me explain and let me show you the leaks. Now, is it really a leak if Amazon Games themselves publish a video that has the stuff in it? I would argue probably not. So basically, Amazon Games, they have this channel which is, all like Meet the Makers. It's very professional. It's not the New World channel where it's talking about just New World. This is about all of Amazon Games and all that kind of stuff. Now, what is important here is in the newest video that was released 4 hours ago, which has 107 views, which probably all me and Mr. Lou who found this, they have some very interesting screenshots that we're about to reveal. And the first thing to talk about is the fact that it looks like the UI is changing. This video, by the way, was apparently recorded in early May, and there's further evidence of that in a second. But it looks like we're going to get a change of UI. Now, the mode that the guy is in, by the way, I think he's in some kind of maybe test environment, maybe the actual engine that they used to create this. I don't really know, okay? But you can see it's got little icons where there should be flames and stuff like that. It's probably the dev tool, okay? He's the guy making the sounds. By the way, the sounds in New World, incredible. I'm sure it's him and a team. I've not actually watched the video with the sound on, but it's basically a dev environment. Now the UI you can see has changed. Now at the minute it only shows one weapon. It doesn't show the second one behind me. You can see it looks like the XP bar has been sort of squished here perhaps. Currently he's only 62. Looks like there's new icons as well, by the way. We see a green one, which I don't think we have green ones like that, unless, I don't think it looks like that anyway. The potions have been moved from being over here to being here, and then underneath the chat you have some buttons that tell you to flag up the settings, boosters, whatever it is, right? It's actually not settings, it's boosters and the social panel, and then above that you have the chat. Everything else, by the way, pretty much looks the same. Now if I'm honest, this doesn't tell us much in itself. A UI change is nothing uncommon. In fact, we've had so many UI changes and little tweaks here and there that this is almost nothing special. What I will say about this is I actually don't like it. By the way, I'm aware that my eye is scuffed again. Let's not talk about it too much. I just have a burst blood vessel. Nothing to stress about. But I don't like this. I think the chat should definitely go in the bottom left corner. I don't like the fact that these items here, which I don't really need to be reminded of, I don't like the fact that they're there. I'd want them to be somewhere else. I don't like it. It's that simple. I don't mind the new icons. I actually don't mind the new health bar and where your level is and stuff like that. As long as when it gets to 65, I want that to go away. I don't want to see my level all the time when I'm max level. One thing that we can't do, because on this screenshot it's actually taken while the guy's using the ability that they're doing, the icons of the color seems to have changed. I think in the game right now it might be red, but when it's actually here it's going to be sort of the greeny bluey color. I call it turquoise. So it looks like some of the icon colors are changing. Obviously this whole UI has changed, and whether you like it or not, that seems to be happening. Now why would this be happening, and when is it actually going to go live? By the way, just to prove that, there's a little quick look at the flail and shield, and this ability here I think has changed color. Okay, nothing crazy, but if you want to go and watch the video and try and spy any detail, then go ahead. But we'll use this screenshot to sort of illustrate the point. There's no change here, by the way. There's no extra weapon, and that's because this is actually a Season 6 build, which blows my mind for 2 reasons. One is very simple. I was not convinced we were even going to get a Season 6. Ever since they removed seasons from the website, and ever since they basically removed the seasonal story, I was sort of thinking, what's the point in the season? However, this is pretty much confirmation. We are going to get a Season 6. And then the cogs sort of start turning. What does this mean? By the way, I absolutely don't see anything else apart from the fact that they've rearranged the order of them. For example, it's journal, mount, character, map, activities, season 6, store, and then the settings. Don't really like the fact that it's a settings icon, just write settings when it looks like that, but okay. Activities, I think, has moved from the far left to here. It is what it is. But if this is happening now in season 6, why would it happen in season 6? And what would be in season 6? Well, I don't really know about that. I think maybe the PvP stuff might be matchmaking. My new theory is this. It's very possible that season 6 is the console release and potentially the possibility of fresh start servers. Now, fresh start servers are coming. Definitely for console, you'll have fresh start servers. Whether or not we'll have them on PC, I don't know. I think it will be a bit of a meme if they're hinting at fresh start servers to not then give them to the current players. But, stranger things at Amazon have happened. But for me, this sort of implies that maybe we'll get console at season 6, fresh start at season 6, and then the real content will actually come in season 7. That'll be the PvP island if it is an island. That'll be the raids if we're getting proper raids. That'll be when the real stuff happens. But the UI change, which looks like this, I think makes sense for the console release. And actually, the more I think about that plan, the more interesting that would be. Now, will they be ready for console in July, which is when Season 6 is supposed to happen? My instinct would have been no, but maybe they're more advanced than we think. By the way, I know we're on this screenshot, I just want to point out how low polygon the fountain is. Keep in mind that this is the dev tool, right? That's not how the game's going to look on console. I know some of you are thinking of it, some of you are probably typing it right now. That's not how the game's going to look. Try and engage the old noggin. But yeah, I mean, it would sort of make sense to do console, let console players effectively catch up, and then hit them with some more content. Because one of the problems with MMOs typically is that you release them and then you don't get any new content, and that sort of feels very underwhelming. So what if console is Season 6, PC gamers aren't really bothered because we're like taking our eyes and focus onto Season 7, or maybe you're whacking up fresh, you complete your fresh start server, then you can do straight into Season 7, and you can either pick that, and you can either do it on your fresh account because that's all nice and brand new and fresh and new smelling, or you can do it on your legacy character where you've got thousands of gold, or in some people's cases, hundreds of thousands of gold. Not bragging, trying to brag a little bit, but I'm not bragging a little, I'm not bragging that much. But then you can pick, right? That's one thing that they didn't do at Brimstone. So for example, if you remember all the way back at Brimstone, what they actually did is that they released Brimstone and then did fresh. And it was sort of like, well, who's playing what and when? Your existing players, well, we're going to do Brimstone, and then are we going to bother with fresh? Probably, maybe not. Actually, some people did, some people didn't. And then if you do fresh, are you going to run through all the way through Brimstone again? It was just awkward timing. I think it was about 2-3 weeks difference. And I always said then that it would made sense to have done fresh beforehand, let the people get up, and then let them pick the server that they want to pick, let them pick the character that they want to pick. If they do fresh, by the way, they need to stop saying what they said last time, which was we will never merge it. The never say never thing definitely holds true here. I was on a server today where there was like 50 people and 10 of them were like bots, just guaranteed. That server needed merging. So never say never because you don't know what's around the corner. So let's hope they won't do that this time. They should say we're not going to merge them for a minimum of a year. Fine, that's okay. But yeah, so nothing like really amazing in terms of the leak here. I mean, yeah, sure, it says Season 6, and sure, we get a new UI, but that's literally it. There's no smoking gun here. I mean, apart from the fact that I don't like this UI, that's going to absolutely do my head in. If I have to play with that UI right there, I'm going to be so angry. I do not want those buttons in the bottom left. I want my chat to be in the bottom left. Please, 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 if they're going to do anything with the UI, let me customize it a little bit, and let me either turn that off or press a button for it. I'm assuming that the second weapon might go like right behind me because at the minute it's actually blank. But if the second weapon doesn't go there, I mean, move this to here, move the chat down, and boom, I'm happy. But yeah, I mean, very fascinating, if not like a smoking gun. I think the implication is getting very intriguing. The big news, by the way, is probably the 7th of June at around 10 o'clock BST, that's British Summer Time. That's 11 PM European Time, 5 PM Eastern, 2 PM Pacific. You can probably work it out from there, okay? However, we're not 100% sure that New World announcement will come at that Summer Games Fest showcase. There's several. It could be the Xbox showcase for all we know. It's sort of like a little bit of a hint, so we definitely didn't waste our time. If Amazon are out there, please tell me, like on Twitter, don't just tell me, don't just DM me. Not that Amazon have ever reached out and DM'd me, but like, you know, just tell us, the community, tell us, please and thank you. So that's like a small little leak, but I think the implications could be very interesting. If we do get console and fresh before the big update, I think that works nicely. I know a lot of PC gamers be like, well, what does that do for me? Console doesn't do anything for you, not directly. I mean, if console does really well, maybe they'll have more money to put into the game, but that's far-fetched. Let's not even worry about that. But Season 7, that's when the content is really coming. What will be in Season 6 for the PC players? I mean, I have no idea. Maybe a new PvP mode. Maybe we'll actually get just like matchmaking in a new PvP mode. And then we get the big stuff with the PvP island, the raids and all that kind of stuff in Season 7. Maybe. Stranger things have happened. Maybe. For now, have a most beautiful day. If you want to support me, then becoming a Patreon is the best way. If you want to come and talk about this, I'll be live on Twitch tomorrow discussing this and loads of other things that I can't comprehend right now. Goodbye.